BloxFruits is an adventure game heavily inspired by the best-selling manga of all time, One Piece. But how similar is BloxFruits to One Piece? Well, Detective Millz is on the case today, and I'm gonna figure out what each island in the first sea is supposed to be from the manga/anime, and if the BloxFruits islands follow the same path our Straw Hat's journey takes place on. Starting off with the starter island. Now in BloxFruits there are two starter islands depending on which faction you choose, either the pirates or the marines. If you start it on the pirate starter, then it's gonna look like this, and you have to fight bandits. If you start it on the marine starter, then it looks like this, but you have to fight trainees. But just these first islands can show you the difference from the source material because nothing in One Piece is alike these islands. In the manga, Luffy starts his journey leaving his home of Syrup Village and heading to Shell's Town, where he most notably meets Vice Captain, an absolute demon, Roronoa Zoro, which kickstarts our Rubber Boy's journey to becoming the Pirate King. The next island you must go to in BloxFruits is the Jungle Island. Here you will find monkeys, gorillas, and the Gorilla King. We see more inconsistencies on this island, with us never seeing any kinds of monkeys up until much later in the story. For example, the baboons on Mihawk's island that are used to train Zoro. As well as the fact that the BloxFruits dealer can be found on the island, but there is no such thing in the manga because in One Piece, devil fruits are only found at random in nature. Also, the saber expert is on this island, and he looks a lot like red-haired Shanks. But this actually might be the most correct thing here, because Shanks is shown in chapter 1 of the manga, and this is only the second island you encounter. After that is Pirate Village Island, which is our first island to be pretty canon to the manga. Here you will encounter pirates, brutes, and Bobby. In One Piece, the second island we go to is Orange Town, where we meet our ship's navigator Nami and fight the notorious former Roger Pirates crew member Buggy the Clown. And beat him up. Oh, and I forgot the Dark Step teacher is here, and it's just Sanji, who is the Straw Hat chef and known for his only kicking fiery fighting style. Fight back! Fight back! Following Pirate Village is the Desert Island. Now this has got to be BloxFruits' version of Alabasta, but that means that we skipped over a lot of story. One being my favorite One Piece arc, which is the Arlong Park arc. More importantly, we skipped over adding Sanji, Nami, God Usopp, and Chopper to the crew. But anyways, on the Desert Island you could find the Desert Bandit and the Desert Officer, which are not any significant characters in the Alabasta saga. On Alabasta, the Straw Hats must stop a civil war due to the hands of Crocodile, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, and the leader of a corrupt secret organization known as Baroque Works. At the end of the arc, we also add another Straw Hat to the crew, which is the Demon Child, Nico Robin. Next is the Frozen Village, where you fight the Snow Bandits, Snowmen, and the Yeti. But there's nothing like this in One Piece. There are, however, Yetis eventually, in fact, Yeti twins, if that means anything to you. I don't think it does. Middletown. Nothing happens here in BloxFruits other than the raid boss, the Saw, spawning in, who is basically Arlong in the manga. But he should be in Arlong Park or maybe Fishman Island to be true to the main story. There's also a couple NPCs on this island, but they don't really do much. But other than that, you just use this place to travel to the second sea, and that's pretty much it. Then comes Marine Fortress. The NPCs on this island are the Chief Petty Officers and Vice Admiral.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy.
While the actual island BloxFruits takes inspiration from is very important, the BloxFruits equivalent is not. It is a good island to serve hot bosses though. One big connection on this island is that Vice Admiral Boss is basically Zoro. He uses his signature triple katana and has his face and everything. But obviously in the manga Zoro is a pirate and part of the Straw Hats, yada yada yada, you get the point. But Greybeard is a raid boss on this island, and he looks exactly like our father Whitebeard, who is one of the Yonko, otherwise known as one of the 4 Emperors of the Sea. He's very important. The other connection this island has is being modeled after the Marine Ford, a Marine headquarters where soon the execution of Luffy's older brother, Ace, is being held, causing an all-out war against Whitebeard's pirates and the Navy. Now we go to Sky Island, where you battle against the Sky Bandits and the Dark Masters. There are no bandits or Dark Masters in Skypiea, the Sky Island from manga. But we do fight Enel, the new god of Skypiea, and his 4 priests. Here, the Straw Hats end up searching for Skypiea out of curiosity, but are amazed after actually reaching there. Skypiea is in turmoil after newly crowned god has taken over the island forcefully and is ruling with an iron fist. So it's all up to our rubber boy to put an end to the thunder god. We're also introduced to the idea of hockey, specifically observation hockey, but in BloxFruits we use instinct. Also, a couple of other NPCs are spread out, being the master swords dealer and the mad scientist, who are not people in the manga. Let's go to the prison island, where you will meet many foes, starting off with the prisoners, then the dangerous prisoners, finally 3 bosses, including the warden, chief warden, and Swan, who are all characters found in Impel Down. Now we're kind of going backwards story-wise, because Impel Down, the name of the prison Luffy and the others are in, is before the Marineford War, but regardless, in Impel Down, Luffy is alone from his crew but puts together a ragtag team of crooks and one zesty boy to attempt to break out of the toughest prison in the world in hopes to reach Marineford in time to save Ace. Side note though, Doflamingo, who is Swan, is in Impel Down currently in the anime, but was first seen in the Jaya arc alongside Bartholomew Kuma. Next up is Colosseum. Now I have a big problem with this BloxFruits. You cannot have a rip-off Dressrosa island in the first sea and then do an entire Dressrosa in the second sea. But nevertheless, you fight against the Toga warriors and gladiators on this island. This is where you can also have friendly 1v1s by using these platforms, and it has no significance to the manga whatsoever.
360 ooga booga booga! Like, are you serious right now? Are you?
Magma Island. You can fight with the military soldiers, military spy, and magma admiral boss on this island. The only thing taken here from One Piece is the magma admiral, who is really the admiral in the manga, named Akainu, and is a very bad, evil, horrible, immoral, sinful, wicked, foul, vile man. But currently he isn't only just an admiral, he's actually in fact the fleet admiral. The third last island in the first sea is the underwater city. Fishman Warrior, Fishman Commando, and Fishman Lord are all present here. While the Fishman Warriors and Commandos are just generic fish bad guys, the Fishman Lord is actually based off of our resident juicer, Horty Jones from the Fishman Island arc. Here Luffy is told he is going to destroy the Fishman Island one day by a fortune teller, and the Straw Hats are labeled criminals, all while the bad Jim Bros plan to take over Ryugu Kingdom. We also meet an ancient weapon named Shirahoshi. This is also very early for BloxFruits to put Fishman Island here, because in the manga, Fishman Island doesn't appear till post time skip. Now we go back to the Sky Islands, but in the upper part where we face off against God's Guards, Shonda, and Weisper, followed by the Royal Squad, Royal Soldier, and the Thunder God. Here we meet more of the supportive cast of the Skypiea arc, being the Shandorians, Wiper, a couple other characters are notable here, as well as Usopp, who teaches you observation hockey, and Ganfall. And of course, the main arc's villain, as well as the scariest villain in One Piece ever, Enel. Finally, we reach Fountain City, otherwise known as Water 7, fighting with the galley pirates who look a lot like the galley lost shipwrights, and then with the galley captain, who might be our very own CP9. And finally, against the cyborg formerly known as Frankie. On Water 7, the Straw Hats search for a shipwright to join the crew due to all the problems popping up on the Going Merry, but are caught up in an assassination plot against someone keeping the blueprints to an ancient weapon. We also see the first infighting of the group between Luffy and Usopp, as well as adding the final addition to our crew, pre-time skip, Mr. Frankie. If you like getting to know how One Piece connects to BloxFruits, why don't you subscribe, because I'm going to be making a video for the second sea and the third sea, as well as many other cool videos to come in the future. If you guys want to see my last video where I try to get my bounty to 5 million, then it's going to be on the screen and in the description in a second. And also another video is going to pop up your screen that you should probably go check out. Other than that, you guys already know what it is. Yeah.